teen struggles. So opening up, I mean, thinking about what they have to deal with today. I mean, this social media, to me, is one of the major factors of what teens have to struggle with nowadays, which is, everything is put online. And that can be really harmful because not only are our teens looking at people that, maybe their age or even a little bit older, they're looking up to a lot of people that are on social media. They also compare themselves to what other people have or don't have. There's this big thing now I've seen my own daughter do with the hauls, which is what they do is when they buy or they get a gift from somebody like an Easter basket or Christmas, they do these things called hauls. And they're showing everything that they get from gifts. Like, so here's this basket that I got. And like, these kids are comparing what they got compared to what their friend got. Or, oh, my parent must not love me as much. Or, that person is so rich because they got all this stuff. And like, this is going down. It just continues to go spiral and get down a rabbit hole.
Well, the struggle here, out here, y'all know I teach the teens still, always taught high school, teaching college, a lot of dual enrollment. And, we talk about it. We talk about everything. And the problem is, and this is what I tell them, because of course, if we got to get into the playbook, the professor's playbook, the psychosocial development, COVID. And so you got these 18, 19-year-old, COVID hit at 14, 15. That's when you had that like major, because middle school, cesspool, middle school, everybody's all over the place. Yeah. And then it just stopped. Yeah. And then it just stopped. And then you got legalism because, legalism is here's the laws, but nobody tells you how to do it. Parents backed off, teachers backed off, everybody backed off. Kids are gotta learn, gotta be educated. What do we do? And so if anybody was in any type of vulnerable state, it exacerbated it. And so now you've got teens that do not even know how to speak to each other. They don't know how to conversate, person to person, and everything is on screen. And so even with that, they're living very third person. And so it's like, kind of like we talked a little bit last time about getting jobs or even doing that or having them to do things. Right. They don't know how. Right. It's like they literally don't know how. And they were kind of missed because it was like, we just got to make sure that they're doing their school. And, so these poor babies thinking they're supposed to know this stuff. And I'm like, so I feel like what I've done a lot, like in coaching, whenever like I've had somebody have a mentor, whatever, we're never going back to basics. So I've literally taken a lot of these teenagers at the college stuff and I started them just differently. Weaned it in. They didn't really know, but I had to do some basic.
It's almost like rebuilding the foundation.
Right.
Right. Because the way it has been formed, it's like there's a lot of cracks in it. So you have to go back and rebuild the foundation as much as you can. So I always say it takes a village, especially
absolutely
the kind of kids that, we have nowadays. And, it used to be peer pressure was like one of the biggest struggles. Now it's like you said, social media and body image. Like I hear a lot of body shaming, from kids. And it's like, well, if I'm not the thinnest, if I'm not the prettiest, then I'm not worthy or, no one sees me. And so they tend to take on the behavior in which, people have assigned to them, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like they
labels.
Right. Like their friends or enemies have labeled them. And so that's like the way that they show up is how they're being labeled because they feel, okay, well, you know what?
For causation. If this, then that. If this, then that.
Absolutely.
If I'm this, then I'm bipolar. If I'm this, then I'm, whatever. If I'm this. And so we talk that too. And you all know mental health is not causation. It's not if this, then that. Because again, human experience. I'm like, your experience is going to be different than yours. And I said, guess what? You're not going to be the prettiest. You're not going to be the smartest. You're not going to be the most talented. Who cares?
Right. And then just think about how social media is not only impacting them, but also how social media, they gravitate so much, they hold that like up in a pedestal. Everything that they see on TikTok, on Instagram, on whatever, that is like the end all be all. Well, I read this on Instagram or I diagnosed myself because of this on Instagram. I saw
diagnosis.
Yes. And I'm just like, it can be such a great tool. Like I like social media for like the positive, but of course that comes with the negative. And I feel that a lot of our teens are just holding it in such a high value, and that's just really kind of messing with their heads, I feel like.